All right, looks like I'm live in Facebook and YouTube. Shouldn't tell this, but first time I ever done this. Everybody's got to start somewhere, right? It is about a minute early, so I'll hang tight. Got all the things looking fine here. Lights all done up right. Got 30-second countdown. Okay. Ooh. We're live. I also should have put my name up there, shouldn't I? We'll do that later. Looks like I got two eyeballs and one thumbs up. All right. My name is Grant, live in North Carolina. I've taught, I'm in a townhome about 2 miles from where I grew up on my grandfather's tobacco farm, so I'm a homeboy. But enough about me. Basically, I run a Honda shop for 20 years. Sold it. It's doing fine. It's 5 miles from here. It's tripled in size and still got keys to the place. I've got taught in the community college system and been a private trainer for quite a while. And I got one more thing left in me. So what I'm doing now is, it was Gearhead school, and school scared a lot of the young ones off. So I changed the Gearhead network and just launched this new site under gearhead.network. So I'll probably demo right fair amount of it right quick. Is that let me pull that up. Let's see. Yeah, I can stick back in here. Here we go. I'll probably go away in the corner in a minute, but the site drives me crazy. You got to put www.gearhead.network. Drives me crazy. You shouldn't have to, but to make sure it works. And the site is pretty much done, and I can demo some of that tonight. There's a lot of free resources here, and then a lot of good training in here also. As you imagine, the training stuff is going to have a cost associated with it. I lost track of hours I've got in this. So if anybody makes a comment, I'll see it popping over here, and you can be the first person. You can be the official first commenter to the old man while he's live streaming on Facebook and YouTube. Let me see. Let me bring so you see my screen here. Let me slide over here. And we'll start off with the free stuff real quick. The career guide on the left-hand side, you open it up. And this used to be a book that I actually sold on Amazon. Didn't sell many of them because books are dying. But I just put it all in here. It's all free because, quite frankly, my biggest pet peeve is I see a lot of young ones get education the wrong way. Don't get me started because I'm sure I'm a thorn in somebody's side out there, the private for-profit schools where you spend $20, $30, $40, $50,000 for a degree that can't be used for another degree. And the low retention rate, very few people stick with it. So that's what this is all about. So you open it up, it's going to talk about the back end careers, front end careers. Each one of these has entire, like a lesson. This is all free. Shop types. Where do you want to work? There's a day, you see these guys riding around a pickup truck with the tools in the back and they're riding around looking for a job. That's not the best time to be and the best way to look for a job. Think it out. Do I want to work in a general repair shop that works on a little everything? I like being brand specific. Like I say, I was pure Honda for 20 years, and when I sold it, the first two employees still own the place at a different location. It's a 10,000 square foot shop, 10,000 square foot building, about 8,000 in the shop, fully 4 or 5 ton air conditioners and 3 acres of land here in North Carolina. Brand specific. You can get very good very quick. System specific. You work on undercar, air conditioning, hybrid, so you can focus on system specific. You have to look over here because that's to the right. Franchise shop. This goes through the business models, what it looks like to work there. Fleet shop. The fleet has this, some people like a fleet because you may be working middle of the night, but they get days off. You may be working, if you're working during the day, you're generally working on the same thing. You're not working on cars, waiting for oil change. You don't have to deal with the public. And then new car dealerships. So these are shop types. Training. It goes through all the pros and cons of, standard public school, which is taxpayers' dollar. Why not? The best thing to do is go to a state-supported for post-secondary. I probably get in trouble for saying this. Whether or not you go to a career center at the high school is not a deal breaker in your career. I think you really need to lock and learn for sure as soon as you step out of that environment and go. When you go to post-secondary education, you really need to lock and load. You go to community college, most in the country. I know here in North Carolina, you're probably in and out for 10, 12, 14,000 maximum. You got a 2-year associate degree, you can build on it. That's what I did. Parlay it into a 4-year degree if that's what you want to do. You can work while you're going to school. You're only in school half a day. You can do a co-op program with GM, Ford, Honda, Toyota. You're working in a dealer for money. You're making about minimum 20 hours a week, labor they have to. A lot of guys are turning 30, 40 hours working in the dealer, training on the same brand back at school, and then by 2 years later when you graduate, you're already credentialed. You're already halfway, 60% of the way to a master tech in the OEM brand. That's a no-brainer. I taught in a Honda program out of Charlotte for a couple of years, and it works real well. Private for profit, don't get me started. All the facts are here. Well, why not get me started? This gets into program cost. You will not find this anywhere else. This is free, so after you're through here tonight, jump up on your own, Gearhead Network, down automotive training, private for profit, and then you'll see 20, 30, 40, 50, $60,000 numbers over here. And does this degree transfer? No. I got all credit transfer information from the manuals. This is not found on a website. You got to go digging to find it. None of it transfers. I'll say none of it, but I don't know of any school system not going to take it. And they say that fact right here in their manual. It's here again. They do a lot of internal loans because they create this illusion of something so great that you'll sell your soul to the devil to get. And then, that's a lot of money. Well, we can help you out on that. And you'll look at the financial aid section on this free information. Kind of paints an interesting picture there. All right. So that's private for profit. That is the free career guide. If you got anybody in your family, your inner circle, your neighborhood that's talking about going to automotive training, get them on the site. It's free. Right? Then we get, this is something cool. This is something I think is pretty cool. I've been curating YouTube videos for many years using the classroom, and there's some fantastic, there's about 30, 35 YouTubers, and there's more. I'm getting ready to bring some more in that just do some fantastic stuff, like over-the-shoulder diagnostics, where you feel like you're looking over the shoulder and they're actually showing you the thought process and going to the information system, how they procure the information, what they look for, and then how they took in. It's some of the best training in the business. That's kind of smothered out with all this junk that's out there. Somebody doesn't know what they're doing. It doesn't explain to you how they got to they may have threw enough parts, called the parts cannon, and eventually fixed it. But what good's that? So in the curated YouTube database, and it is a paid product, I don't even know how many hundreds, if not thousands of hours. I've been working on this for like 6, 7 years. And so if you look, I'll tell you real quick, broken down, like you get into electric vehicles. Now, that's not good because that's kind of, don't want to go as deep as we probably need to go here. Just go engine repair, but then get engine repair. You have a very category: belt drive systems, cam drive systems, cooling systems, lubrication systems. So if you look into intake air delivery, now these are curated YouTube videos. This all has 7 because it's a pretty niche topic. You'll see Welding Junkie, Donut Media, Engineering Explained. The guy in Portland used to live in North Carolina. You'll see some topics I have 20, 30, 40. And the reason you don't have a big count is because there's very finite categories. And so you can just come back out if you want to go back to another section. Menu changes up on it. Like, here's a good one: automatic transmission. Not that a lot of guys are building these anymore. But if you have automatic transmission, you look at a GM, only GM automatic transmissions, and 72, these are by people like SIU, Southern Illinois University. They have a great program. If you got a kid or if you or anybody wants to get an automotive degree and you live anywhere close to Southern Illinois, you need to go to SIU and take a look. I've known those guys for a long time. They do a lot of in-classroom training on this. See, CSIU, a guy goes by automatic transmission. This is the name of the channel. And then precision transmission. I think he's down in Texas. Nice guy. Don't know him, but it's like a real nice guy. So now you get General Motor transmissions. You can go down and find the particular model. And I'm not an automatic transmission guy, so it looks like poppycock to me if I was to make some models. It's kind of hard to put this together. You get the idea. You drill down, you find your major ASE area. So they're broken into, like I said, the menu key attention. Here's all your major 8 areas of the ASE areas. And then you go down and you drill down, right on down to, there's 3,500 curated YouTube videos. If you're an instructor, all you got to do is email me using your email address from school, and I'll give you access to this for free. It's very affordable. I'm not going to do that right now, but you can do about a month for under $20 a month. You'll save yourself so much time, and you'll get smarter rather than just try and go through the minutia of the BS to find something that these are people, 2/3 of people I know. I've met them at trade shows. I've driven Flat Rate Master. I just had a hankering one day to go see him. I just thought it was so cool. I live in Greensboro. He's in Atlanta. I said to Martin, then can I come by and see you? And I drove down to see him. But these people are create good content. So let me move on to, see, it looks like we still got 1 and 1 here. And we can go to the Automotive Essentials course. This was the toughie. I'm logged in as the owner, so it looks a little funky. This is where I've taken, as you can see, there's 70 lessons and 13 sections, and I cover all the essentials. They're relatively short. A lot of people look at it and think, a lot of people look at this and think, well, this looks really fluffy. It's called essentials. And a lot of guys and girls out there that get in the industry and they don't understand all the essentials, like how to identify bolts so you can actually pick the phone up and order one and not have to ride down there and handle one. Why is it important? And all those letters and numbers on the outside of an oil can and outside of a transmission, what's all that about? What's the torque to yield? Why is that? It's not that hard. It just seems scary at first. So all that's covered. All the essentials are covered. I'll show you a couple of lessons. I'm trying to think of a good example. So here you got industry terminology. So they understand what these terms mean, longitudinal, transverse, transmission, front wheel drive, rear wheel drive, powertrain terminology. And each lesson starts off with an overview video by me. This goes into the terminology of all different powertrains. So you're having a conversation with your buddy and a couple of the right words, and he should know what you're talking about. So that's just on, it's very granular. Each lesson really covers one topic deep, and that's it. So you don't, then you can move on. In the careers, mobile diagnostic careers, this is something that I wish it was around when I was young. I've always liked being the expert. When I got into the Honda business, I saw that pretty quick. I decided I'm going deep on Honda, and I'm not going to waver. I'm going to have nerves of steel. About 3 weeks when I first opened up, I had to do what I had to do. But within a month, I'm pure Honda. I'm talking about, I'm so pure Honda. If a person had one Honda and 3 Chevys, I work on a Honda, not the Chevys. A lot of people think, oh, you just work on Hondas. Nah, I work on, we bought the factory scan tool. I could buy the factory training through the OEM service information system. We're doing pattern failures on stuff and developing fixes and building products to fix pattern failures on Hondas that the dealer didn't know about. When you go deep, you can do this. And I've always liked being the expert. The guy you bring a car to and nobody else can fix it. That's kind of a cool feeling. So in mobile diag, we used to think about the guys riding around a pickup truck. I keep saying guys, I still mean all genders, okay? Ride around a pickup truck with the toolbox in the back and a floor jack and some jack stands. That's not what we're talking about anymore. We're talking about very specialized. They're doing, start at drivability and kill the meal, got the check engine light on, what's that all about? That's kind of where it all started. But then it's quickly evolved. You still have that going on, but then you have security and body control modules and security systems, and we have people like Keith Perkins out, L1 Automotive. He's got 2 or 3 sprinters that are rolling locksmith with a key cutter, doing body control and security scanning and reprogramming. So then you start to find guys, like I said, do drivability, some guys doing the security systems, and some maybe doing some ADAS. So now you got, buy your Sprinter van, and not trying to make it seem like it's easy. Get your clientele, get your stuff, and now you're the hero. You're not the guy hanging brake pads, starters, and alternators in the parking lot. They're the guy coming in at $250 an hour, and you diagnose it, and you, for the most part, you don't hang around and replace the part. Now you got to stand behind it. You come in and say, you need a blah, blah, blah sensor over there, and get one and holler. And when we get it and get it on, I'll come by and reprogram it. That's kind of how it works. So here again, I'm kind of jealous. I kind of wish mobile diag was a thing when I came around. I might be riding around in a Sprinter van my whole career instead of, I like what it did too. I met people and I'll tell you this real quick. They just had the first 2 employees I sold the business to. The second guy retired a week ago. They called me over there, hey, we're having a retirement party for Ray. So I go over there. And when I get there, there have people that came, they had 2 customers that heard about this party. There's 5 customers that caught the wind they're going to have a retirement party for Ray. And they thought so much of Ray and the business that they wanted to come to a retirement party. It was a closed thing on a Saturday afternoon. Nobody knew about it. They heard about it. So there's 5 women. I'm there sitting in the back, and they all pointed to me first, said, that man runs, it laid acclimates on me. I'm like, it was pretty cool, because I saw that the 2 guys I sold it to continued the trend. They don't work on anything but a Honda, and we have a reputation in Greensboro. We're never slow. We got all the work we can do. Still pure Honda. You will not find anything but a Honda in the parking lot. And to go and sit there and listen to customers that said I was running the shop when they came there, it's a pretty big deal. All right, let me get off my high horse here. So Mobile diagnostic career. So if you go through 70 lessons, I go through careers. I know this, you guys watching probably pros was thinking, wrenches? Well, if you don't know, you don't know. It is an essentials course. Combination wrenches. A video from, I think this was Flat Rate Master. Yeah, down Atlanta did a wrench test. What's a flare nut wrench? Why do you need one? Then here's crow's foot flare wrenches. Ratchet head wrenches. Here again, so some of them kind of short. Let's see. Hammers, chisels, and punches. Why do you have all different kind of punches? The ball peen hammer, that's the go-to hammer. Plastic tipped hammer. Dead blow hammer. And do not, you're snickering out there if you're in the business, do not show up with a claw in the hammer, a claw hammer. There are no nails to pull on a car. Any guys that showed up on these in their little tackle box, they got it hard for quite a while. Then we talk about hammers, and then flat chisels. I don't know what we call them. I always wondered for a while, why are they called cold chisels? Why are they cold chisels? So I had to do the research in this because opposed to hot chisels used for hot metal molten, like a blacksmith is dealing with hot metal, red metal. And so if cold chisel is what we're going to be using, it's not cherry red metal. So that's why it's called a cold chisel. And of course, these are flat chisels, diamond point chisel, cape chisel, pin punch, the difference between pin punch and center punch. You should know that. You probably do. Transfer punch. So I don't want to bore you guys. Most of you guys probably, I don't know if you're, got the best I can tell. I've got a couple of people in here. I don't know whether, of course, this is a replay. This will stay up. I will pick a couple more lessons, and then we'll try to wrap up. You get into shop physics. If you understand the physics behind something, you can about figure something out. You don't have to memorize certain things because it's a law in nature, right? Friction. There's a whole lesson on friction. About the coefficient of friction, the static coefficient of friction, the kinetic coefficient of friction, and how it plays into the brake surface and the edge code, which is kind of hit and miss. It's supposed to be a code on the edge, tells you the friction level, but I think the best thing to do is buy an OEM or equivalent pad, and I never been too successful in trying to match up edge codes on the coefficient of friction. There's an example of edge code. It's the last two letters, FF. The highest friction pad, it's a chart right here, is HH. So sometimes you'll see that in the race, like racing brake pad. There's a company called HH Pads, and that's what the HH comes from. The HH is the highest level of coefficient of friction that they've established for a brake pad. And maybe looking at why would the car pull side to side, and then we'll get into the hydraulics behind the brakes. And you see a couple more quick ones here that would be very interesting here. Change of state. Why not? There's very few people that understand how air conditioning works. They know it has something to do with Freon. There's some magic in this Freon that squirts out and everything gets cold. It's a change of state. All right? Something changed from liquid to a gas, it takes on a tremendous amount of heat. That's hidden heat because it's water from 212 to water to, if it goes from water at 212 to steam at 212, we added heat, but we didn't see a change in temperature. That's why it's hidden, it's latent. But the same thing happens in refrigerant. The end lesson here is we change a liquid to a gas, but it's not water. It's a refrigerant R12, and it takes on copious amounts of heat when it changes from a liquid to a gas. And we got to change it back. That happens in the evaporator, right? We got to change it back. It gets in a condenser, condensed back to a liquid. So we're constantly evaporating the liquid inside the car, pulls in, it's called latent heat vaporization. A little highbrow when you're there, and it pumps it out to the front pressurize on the high side, blow some air across there, and then pull off that heat, and it's going to condense back to a liquid and go back around and do it again. So they understand the physics behind air conditioning. Now, we don't show them how to put lines on and all that, but this is all about essentials. Okay, electrical I'm kind of proud of. Matter of fact, I just closed a deal. I got a gig to go out to Vision, Kansas City, to present on basic electrical to a group of like 75 young, they're entry-level techs. They're just coming to the industry. And so for the first time at Vision, if you've never been to Vision, it's probably the biggest automotive trade show. It's at Overland Park, Kansas, which is a suburb of Kansas City. So you got to ride about a 40-mile cab ride down there. It's big, and so my name popped up as the essentials guy, and there were people on the committee friends of mine that put my name up, and so I'm going to here again. This basic electrical essentials that you're looking at on the screen is going to be used. And the cool thing about it, that's why I like what I do. The cool thing about it is I'll present. The lady says, we don't like PowerPoints. We don't like handouts. I said, well, I don't either. So I said, here's what I'm going to do. I've got a great electrical basics program with a lot of pictures and graphs and illustrations. They don't need the text. What I'll do is I'll project my course and teach basic electrical. And I tell them before we start, you put your pads away, your pencils away. You're not getting a PowerPoint presentation. You're not getting handouts. That's the bad news. Or actually, the good news. But the real good news is I'm going to give you free access to this entire fundamentals course. I got your name and email address. Tonight I'll go back to the hotel room. Everybody gets a free access to this entire course. Electrical, all 70 lessons. So I'm going to plant a seed. I got an opportunity to take 75 guys and plant that seed and make their career just a little easier to get started. And of course, I'm banking on they're going to tell their friends and their bosses. But it's neat that go to a presentation, you don't get slammed by a PowerPoint or a stack of papers. You get to look at the course and then lectured by the instructor, and you get the course when you leave. So for instance, and then I'll wrap up, like electrical circuits, jumping ahead, we go through the components of a circuit, how to lay it out, what they're called. And you got to start here. If you don't understand this, you can't get behind electrical. And there's, the ground, where the ground of the frame of the car, takes place of the actual ground wire. Look at the flow of electricity. We look at things in series and how voltage drop splits across, and the rules of a series circuit, the rules of parallel circuit. And we start looking at, how the current's going to go through these two loads. And this is all stuff that I built years ago for my course, and they'll get to see it projected in Kansas City. And we get into the switches, open circuits, closed circuits, short circuits, all the good stuff. Circuit faults, there's a whole lesson. Actually, it's not that one. There's a whole lesson on just circuit faults. So there's, I think, 7 or 8 lessons in electrical. Yeah, circuit faults, and then we'll wrap up, I promise you. A lot of people say something that worked, it must have a short in it. And I'll say, well, short what? You can have a circuit not work and not be a short. You could have an open, right? Got one right here. You have opens, and you have opens from rats eating insulation. You could have short before the circuit, a short before the load protection device, which will not burn the fuse, but will burn the car to the ground if something doesn't happen real quick. Short the ground after the protection. That's going to pop a fuse. Now this one's a little different because we got short to ground after the control device switch, and so it's only going to pop the fuse when the switch is thrown. So that's the kind of stuff I'm going to tell the ones out there. So look, I know we've been on about 30 minutes, and the cool thing is we got rocking and rolling. Guys can do comments and have questions. I have the ability to bring in 7 people, put them on screen. I have to send you a link. So if you're watching, you become a regular, or you won't come in and have a one-on-one. If you're in industry, you're a trainer, you're a shop owner, you're starting off in the industry and you got something you want to talk about, I'll be glad to bring you right into the deal, because this will be the easiest way to me to create content is to go live, and then of course this will stay up for as a posted YouTube video. So I hope you guys enjoyed it, and like I say, the first time I'm showing my metrics, showing the 1 watching, and I think that's about all I can tell right now. So appreciate you staying up. Of course, this is not that late, 10:30 East Coast, and don't want to ramble on anymore. So leave some comments. Let me know good, bad, or ugly. And this is the first one, so I know I'll get better from here on out. Go to the site, Gearhead.network. www works better. A lot of free stuff, and spread the word. Let me click the end broadcast button.